I'm a Mexi-Canadian. Okay, so all right. So is there anybody else that is new that would like to introduce themselves? We did welcome Shana from India to the class. Okay. Sharat, have you joined our class before? Sharat?
Yes.
Oh, you have. Okay, great. All right. Is there anybody else that was yeah, I'm a big traveler too. I'm not really traveling too much right now because I just moved back to Canada, and Canada is a really expensive country. But I'm continuing on with the study of essential English idioms, and somebody last week asked me whether we could do traveling idioms, so that's what we're doing. So I posted the website that we're using. It's from a website called Idioms Insider. Okay, so I did post that, and so on Tuesday we got about halfway through. I think that we ended up on idiom number 10. Okay, so I usually like to start the class. So I'm just going to get it. Okay, so I usually start the class with Q&A. Okay, so if there's anybody that we possibly missed that would like to Noah's Ark. Okay, I don't believe. Is this your first time Noah's Ark in the class?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay. Yeah. Please
I
introduce
am from
yourself.
India.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And did you study English in school? You know, what is your motivation for improving your English?
No, no, my mother tongue is Tamil
Mm-hmm.
in India, in Tamil Nadu. My
Yes.
mother tongue is Tamil, but I need to learn English fluently. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's
Mm.
always good to learn a second language, third language. It opens your world. It opens your possibilities for travel. It opens your ability to speak to English
Yeah.
speaking people, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
um, they consider English the universal language. It's um, I think Chinese is pretty close, and Spanish is
Yeah.
definitely good, right? So
Yeah.
there are languages, but generally speaking, you will find English speakers in most countries. Okay, they're either
Yeah.
traveling
Yes.
or they're working, an international school or something like that, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
um, so it is a useful language to learn, and it's not easy. Okay, I'm a native speaker, but I am
Yeah.
also a student of Spanish, and Spanish is a lot easier than English. You know.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Okay.
right. Okay. Well, welcome to the class. Is there anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome back, David. Welcome back, Kawa. Norma from Argentina. We're always glad to welcome students back to the class. Okay, so in case you weren't here on Tuesday, there was a request last week to talk about traveling idioms. So we used I posted the website. We got to the last one we did was make tracks, which was a good idiom to end off with, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, I start the class with Q&A about Canada. So many people do not know a lot about Canada, my country. I have been to all 10 provinces and 2 out of the 3 territories. So we've had some really interesting questions about my country, about winter. It's not winter all the time. Summer is over. It is. We do have 4 seasons, so it's considered fall or autumn right now. So it's a little cooler. Okay. So yesterday I put my shoes on for the first time. I usually wear sandals all summer, but yesterday was my first day with actual shoes. So that felt a little weird after months and months and months of wearing sandals. And in Mexico, I just wear sandals all the time. So I have to get used to wearing shoes or even boots in the wintertime. Okay. So any questions? Q&A, this is the Q&A section of the class. Any questions about Canada? Anything at all?
So this is Arif. Actually,
Yeah, go ahead.
most of the class you gave us opportunity to ask the question about Canada. So we got all the perspective from you about Canada. So I have different questions.
Okay.
So as you have visited 36 country up until, so which country is the best to visit you, and why it was the best?
Repeat the question again, please.
Actually, you have been 36 country up until. So my question is, what is the best tour in your lifetime and why?
What is the
When was
what is the okay, so I'm sorry. I there was a little bit of background noise. So what is the something in my lifetime?
which country you have got the most
Okay, which is my favorite country in my life? Okay. So I visited about 30 countries. Okay. And I would say Mexico is my favorite country because I decided to move there and live there for 12 years. Okay. So part of my heart is in Mexico. So I am glad to be back in Canada and carrying on with my life here in Canada, where I have friends and family. But part of my heart is still in Mexico. Yes, and we did have, I think, yeah, David is from Mexico, and there's last Tuesday there was another person from Mexico. Okay, any other questions about Canada or me? Yeah, you can ask me anything. Yes, Al, do you have a question?
I have this question, teacher.
Nigger.
Okay.
What
Okay,
is
listen to David first, and then we'll have the other people. Okay, David?
yeah? Is
I
it
hate nigger.
affordable for you to eat balance? Yeah, is it affordable for you to have a balanced diet?
There's
Oh, this person.
just a second, David. I have to mute somebody. No, everybody's muted. Okay, so we had some. Okay, so okay. All right. So all right, so everybody's muted. Okay, so David, what was your question again? David?
Yeah, my question is it affordable for you to have a balanced diet in Canada?
Well, yes, it's affordable, but it's not as cheap as Mexico. That's for sure. Okay, so I'm not a vegetarian, but I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close to being a vegetarian. I do eat fish. I do eat cheese and eggs. But when I was in Mexico, I could just go to the grocery store and just buy anything I wanted because the prices were not as expensive as Canada. So I have to really, really pay attention to the prices and to make sure that I do have a balanced diet with protein and fruits and vegetables and also fiber. So you have to be a lot more careful to have a balanced diet in Canada because of the prices are so high. Okay. It was a lot easier in Mexico. I mean, I could go to restaurants anytime I felt like it. I could go to even fancy grocery stores like City Market and just basically buy whatever I wanted. Well, not anymore. Okay, not anymore. I can't waste food. I have to choose wisely. So yes, it is possible and it is affordable, but I am looking for another job actually. I was a senior editor for an immigration law firm in San Francisco on Zoom, and so I am looking for another job. Okay, good question. Any other questions about Canada? And also, David, they do have farmers markets here. Okay, so in Mexico, of course, you have your beautiful mercados, year round, right, where you can get food directly from the growers. Okay, so we do have that, but it's seasonal. It starts in about May, and I think there's like one more farmers market, and then that's it for the season because it's going to get colder and it will snow next month. So our growing season is much shorter. So But good question.
Yeah,
Any
it's
other?
such a difference because here we have fruits and vegetables almost every day of the year.
Oh yeah, you do. You totally do. And there's some things that even with our 6-month growing season, so we don't grow avocados. You have to bring them in from Mexico. Okay, we don't grow a lot of things like tropical fruits. Okay, it's not hot enough, and the growing season is not long enough to have tropical fruits. So we have to bring in mangoes from Mexico. Bananas from other places. So yeah. So that adds to the price of food. Is anything that has to come in on a truck or a plane naturally has to be more expensive. So local fruits and vegetables we could get them for about 6 months, and then not for 6 months. So half the year we have to rely on food that is coming in from other countries. Yeah. So that's totally different than Mexico because of our growing season. Yeah.
So yeah, you are importing a lot of food. Most of the time, you are importing food. So in which sector Canada actually give attention or give value?
Right. Right. Okay. We're actually importing oranges from Morocco now. Okay, because there is a boycott because of Trump's tariffs. We are bringing in less food from the United States. The United States used to be our friend, no more. Okay, Mexico is our friend, so we're certainly increasing our imports from Mexico and other countries. And so there are oranges from Morocco in the stores now. So I mean that's pretty amazing, and they're really good too, but they're not cheap. Okay, so anything that we can't produce is more expensive. Absolutely. Okay, any other questions about Canada? Carlos, do you have a question for me?
Yes. How about immigration? Is that easy to go to Canada? I was reading that you have three languages there. Well, English, French, and Chinese Mandarin is the third language that you use a lot. So is it friendly to go to Canada for Spanish speakers?
Yes, it is. There's many Spanish speakers in Canada right now. There's actually seasonal workers. Seasonal agricultural workers here. So they're going home pretty soon, probably another week or so. But about 5 or 6 thousand Mexicans in the interior of British Columbia are here picking the fruit and also working in the vineyards with the grapes. So we do bring in seasonal workers in the agricultural sector. We also are immigration friendly, unlike the United States, completely different. Okay. So if we are bringing in skilled workers, certainly medical workers in the healthcare profession. So we are an immigration friendly country. It's a huge country and a very low population. Okay, the population of Canada is about the same as Mexico City. Okay, so it's like 30 million something. Okay, so 31 million, 32 million, or something like that. Okay, so that's for the whole country. And Mexico City has that many people in like one city. So it is. So we do need people from other countries. I'm only second generation myself. All four grandparents came from the Ukraine in the 20s. So my parents were born in Canada. Naturally, I'm born in Canada, but my two grandmothers and my two grandfathers were born in the Ukraine, and they immigrated to Canada for a better life and farmland. Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's easy. You still have to go to the Canadian consulate and apply and find out what programs and what visas you need to come to Canada. But yes, we are immigrant friendly. That is absolutely true. Unlike the United States, which is against immigrants in many cases, even though President Trump has a foreign wife from Slovakia or something. Okay,
Ex-
so yeah.
Exactly. Yes. The only thing is that I am from Ecuador, and here you don't have an embassy. I heard that we have to travel to Colombia. So
Oh,
in Colombia you have the embassy,
yeah.
and then we can have, well, we should go there to try to have a visa to
Yes,
visit your country, Canada, because
yes,
it looks very nice.
yeah,
It has a lot of natural views that
yeah,
are really beautiful,
yeah,
especially in Vancouver. I
yeah,
had seen this Lions Bridge in Vancouver. I like to see all these sites in the internet where you can visit online cities.
yes.
And yeah, Vancouver looks really nice.
Right, right. No, and we do have people from Ecuador in this country. Okay. I used to live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I don't know whether you're on Facebook, but there's a Facebook group called Ecuadorians in Calgary. So yes. And every city will have an immigration center to help new immigrants. Okay. But yes, you do have to apply through a Canadian consulate to come to Canada. That is true. That is true. So yes, so I did not know that there wasn't a Canadian consulate in Peru, because many Canadians like to come, or in Ecuador. I'm sorry, many Canadians like to go to Ecuador, and there are also retired people that they go to Ecuador and they live in like I think it's Quito. Is it Quito? Okay, so
Or
there's a country.
maybe Cuenca, because there are so many people in Cuenca that they love it because of the weather.
Yes, yes, they do. So there are definitely Canadians living in your country, okay? Because of the weather, because of the cost of living, right? So yes, it's really true. It's really true. Okay, right. Okay, so good question. But yes, the question is yes. The answer is yes, we are immigration friendly. Okay. There are many, many Spanish speakers in Canada. Okay. We have Mexican restaurants here. When I lived in Querétaro in Mexico, I went to a Colombian restaurant. In San Miguel de Allende, there is a wonderful Peruvian restaurant. So there's restaurants, Latin American restaurants all over the place. So I have tried Ecuadorian and Peruvian and Argentinian and Mexican and Colombian food. Yes. So So yes, so the answer is yes, we are immigrant friendly and visitor friendly. Okay, any other
Yeah.
questions?
In which sector most of the Canadian people focus for their livelihood?
Okay, so the Canadian people focus on the what?
In which sector most of the Canadian people focus for their livelihood?
Oh, livelihood. Okay, well, like every country, so we don't have agricultural workers in the winter because there's snow, right? So, but we have every other job that exists in other countries. Okay. So do we have banana growers? No, because we can't grow bananas, right? Okay. Do we have avocado growers? No, because we can't grow avocados. All right. But we do have, in my area, there's 300 wineries, 300 vineyards. In the larger cities, of course, you have absolutely every job there is. There's schools, there's private schools, there's bilingual schools, certainly hospitals, medical healthcare profession. So I was a teacher. I taught little kids for 30 years. So I don't teach little kids anymore. I only teach adults. So that's my story. But you know, there's every kind of job, and every kind of job that exists in your country exists here. Okay. Other than, like I said, agricultural workers like banana growers or avocado growers or orange growers. Okay, we don't have a long enough growing season. It's not hot enough here to grow those things. So we do have to bring them in from other countries. Okay, but really good questions, class. Okay, so we want to get going because we also want to have 5 minutes at the end for people to tell stories. Okay, so number 11, go the extra mile. To make a special effort beyond what is required. The tour guide always goes the extra mile to ensure everyone has a memorable experience. Other ways to say it: make an extra effort, put in extra work. Okay. So I feel that I'm going the extra mile, and all the teachers on a London English Practice Academy do go the extra mile, because we don't have to be here. We're all volunteers. We don't get paid, but we just really love teaching, and we love helping students become more confident English speakers. So that's why we're here. So I would say all the teachers on this platform do go the extra mile. Okay, we are putting in extra effort to also figure out what time zone it is. Okay, right here in where I am, it is in the morning, and it's like 10, almost 10:30. Okay, but where you are, it's probably the evening. Okay, but that's okay. I figured out what time it is to sign on to join you and to help you become more familiar and practice essential English idioms. Okay, so good question. Okay, so think about in your life. So when have you gone the extra mile for something in your life? Extra effort. Okay, so oh, Christina's back. Always glad to see you, Christina. Okay, Christina, you've got lots of examples. So, in your life or in your job, where have you gone the extra mile?
Well, every day,
Every day.
every day, every single day, going extra mile, put an effort, an extra effort of, like getting up from my bed, just,
Yes.
having my dinner or having my lunch, having my breakfast, just working from 6 to 7, which is even on Saturday, and always go extra miles, always put an effort, an extra effort. And of course, definitely in terms of achieving, in terms of betting, become, you're striving, isn't it, guys? Everyone are striving to become better, whatever
Yeah.
they're doing, being a better mom, a better teacher, a better, I don't know, I'm an export import, manager, and I to be in, in you're getting your proficiency better. So of
Yeah.
course you're putting an extra effort. It's not like you're going, oh yeah, well, I don't know if I can do that. Oh, I don't know if I can handle at the end of the month.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I mean, you'll be get sacked. You'll be just, they will find a way in order to get rid of you. So, I mean, in the companies, and so you can't say that, unfortunately. Sometimes just only in your bed. When you are at home, when you have a coffee, tea, cappuccino,
Yes.
whatever you're doing, you can say, like, when you're praying and say, God, I can't handle this. What should I do? Just between you and God, just between you and extra someone who, but when you are in a society, you have to put always an extra effort and go
Yeah.
extra miles,
It's
unfortunately.
true. It's true.
Whatever is true.
Yeah. Yeah. Even my last year, my year 30, when I was teaching, I still had to
Mm-hmm.
go the extra mile. I thought somehow I
Of
start when I
course.
thought, oh, it would get
Yeah.
easier. It never got easier. Never.
Never got easier. No, but it's understandable. I mean, never got easy. You put an extra effort being here on this platform, when you've been in Mexico, when you've been, like changing city. This is an extra effort. It's not
Yes, it is.
easy. I mean,
Yes.
just, collecting all your things, like dropping, finding a suitable, I don't know, venue or suitable. Meanwhile, when you are finding, wherever you're finding there, your house or rented house, an apartment. So it's just always an extra effort.
Yes, always.
So it's not easy. It's not easy as, like, uh, yeah, it's easier to say than done, definitely. So, I mean, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, it's just a piece of cake, nothing. But when, in fact, when you're doing that, you're seeing the effort where you're putting in. So, thank you for asking me. And sorry, like, And Tuesday, I've been such busy, you know, like driving, and I had, meanwhile, a meeting while I was driving. So, well, it was crazy day. Sorry about that.
No, it's
Yeah.
good to have some humor. So thank you. Thank you for sharing,
Thank
Christina.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Take care, teacher Joanne.
Okay,
Thank
next one.
you.
Burn the midnight oil to work late into the night. With the deadline approaching, I had to burn the midnight oil to finish my project. Work late, stay up late. Okay, so sometimes when you have, like when I was going to university for sure, I'd have a deadline, have a project, a paper, something like that. And I would have to stay up late to finish it to make sure that it was submitted on the right time so that I would get marks for the assignment. So yes, but any type of like just like I'm moving at the end of the month, so I'm doing a little bit every day to get ready for my move, but I just know that on October 28th and October 29th, I will be burning the midnight oil to make sure that I'm totally ready when my driver comes on the 30th. It's really true. It's really true. Yeah. Okay. So, can you think of a time when you had to stay up late to finish something, to burn the midnight oil?
I remember when I have to write down my thesis and I have to study to give an exam. It's a completion exam to graduate, and I have to study like 300 questions, and it was really hard. And I have to burn my midnight oil in that time.
You did. You
It
burned,
was
of
hard.
course. You had to burn the midnight oil. Okay. So good, very good example. Yeah, any kind of test, examination, some type of a situation. Right. Okay, here's a good one. And this one's used all the time, not just traveling. Okay, keep someone in the loop. To keep someone informed or involved in a situation or plan. In a sentence, make sure to keep me in the loop about any changes to our travel itinerary. Keep someone updated, stay informed. Okay, so yes, it's also it's about it can be about travel because travel is a lot more complicated now. And you go to the airport and they switch gates. One time I can't remember where I was going, but they switched gates on me twice. So I went to the first gate and they switched me to the second gate and they switched me to the third gate. I thought, oh, please God, I hope that this will be the last gate. Now the airlines did help me get from gate to gate, but still it was a hassle. Okay, so in your life, if you just want someone to give you information, if you say keep me in the loop, okay, so there's really no, and a loop is like a circular um a shape, right? A loop, right? So you have loops on your shoelaces, you have loops around, you have an elastic band, which is a loop that keeps your papers together. Okay. So, but if you say keep me in the loop, that means, if you have new information, tell me the information too. Okay. So you could be now negative, you don't want to be out of the loop. Okay, because then you don't know what's going on. Okay, there have been some changes. There's some changes in your work, right? Because things are changing all the time. So if you're either in the loop and you know what's going on, or you're out of the loop and people don't tell you what's going on, which is not good. So this is a very common idiom. Keep someone in the loop. Okay. So in these classes, I keep you in the loop. If you're a returning student or you're brand new to this class, I always introduce myself. I give you an opportunity to ask me questions about my country, Canada, and I also tell you that what we're going to be doing. So I posted on the LEPA WhatsApp group the exact site that I'm using for the class on Tuesday and then today. Okay, so I'm keeping you in the loop. It's important for teachers to keep the students in the loop. Okay. And then when I was teaching in a school, it was important for the principal to keep their his or her teachers in the loop. So you want to be in the loop. Okay. So this platform has changed from a different platform. So they had to keep announcing that it's now London English Practice Academy. It used to be Natural English Practice Academy, I think. It was or something like that. And then when I started, it was Worldwide English Practice. So it went from Worldwide English Practice to Natural English Practice to now it is London English Practice Academy. So there's been 3 changes. And so that the organizers and the administrators have had to keep the teachers in the loop so we don't get lost. Okay, so we know that when it's our time and we can advertise our classes. Okay. So David, see if you can keep us in the loop about your healing. How are you doing with your healing?
Exactly. Yeah, I am feeling better now. I'm seeing that the blister had just how do you say, just broke?
Yeah.
No, exactly. So now I am using the aloe vera
Yes.
gel.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, and I seeing it better now.
Yes. Yes.
Thanks.
Well, it's very powerful.
Exactly. Yeah, thanks God. I hadn't been any problem and it has not been infected. So it's nice. I think it will heal well.
Yes, it
And
will.
I hope that I don't, yeah, I hope that this situation don't let visible mark in my skin.
No. You keep with the aloe vera gel, and I had quite a large burn, on my leg, and I cannot tell where it is. Okay, the
Okay,
aloe vera,
nice.
the antibiotics from the inside and the aloe vera gel from the outside, completely 100%. There was no scars. I have no scars. I have nobody
No
can tell.
scars.
I mean, I know that where it is, but there is
Okay,
absolutely no scars. It healed 100%. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you for keeping us in the loop about your recovery and your healing. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Anybody else will have an example of being in the loop or not in the loop? Okay. So it can be positive or negative. You want to be in the loop. All right. You want to be informed. Or you can ask, just like I asked David. It says, no, can you update us? Can you keep us in the loop? Okay. So David told us, how his healing is progressing. Okay. So now if what happened to David, he had a burn from a motorcycle pipe, which was very hot, and so he had a burn, and now he is, of course, trying to get a settlement from Uber. Yeah, so because that it was pretty serious at the time, and it was really painful. I remember that. Because it happened to me in Indonesia.
I I wanna give you an example
Oh,
to
great.
keep you loop. Yeah.
In the loop.
So as you mentioned that we had 3 different names for the same group. At first, it was Worldwide English Practice Group.
Right.
Then
That's
it was Natural English Practice Group. Now it
Yes.
is London. So
Right.
because of changing this criteria, we lose some member. We couldn't keep in the loop all of them.
Yes. 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 So some people were not in the loop. You tried your best. Okay, the platform tried their best. And there was also a time when they didn't have enough the right number of Zoom or the right level of Zoom membership. So there was also a time when we had to use, like, the teachers had to use their own Zoom. So yes, so that is true. So some people were not in the loop. Okay. the platform tried their best, but some people, got lost, basically. I mean, that's what happened. Okay, so they were out of the loop. Now, it's possible that they could find, because during the transition period, there's still a WhatsApp group called NEP. Okay, but they're saying that the whole platform has moved to London English Practice Academy. Okay, so and they gave a date, so they wanted people to stay in the loop. Okay, so but as you say, some people get lost. Okay, so Arajo. Okay, you have an example? Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, teacher.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay. All right. All right. Christina, do you have an example of in the loop, out of the loop?
Good evening,
A little
teacher.
bit tricky.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
please.
Our classmate has. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Araujo. How do you pronounce your name, sir? Arajo?
Raul. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell us your example.
Okay. There's something who happened. I'd like to share with you some experience I had last year. Yeah, I was talking to my mom and she promised me something, but I wanted to hold my breath. And that time, I said to him, um, I said to him, you have to 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 look me whenever you feel that the things you promised me will not happen. You have to look me.
Right.
That's
Keep
my example.
you in the loop. Exactly. Keep you in the loop. Okay, Christina, you have an example for in the loop, out of the loop?
Tricky one is my son. And I mean, I'm always out of the loop. We used to have a platform for kids, but now they said to us, look, parents, you can't, I mean, it's impossible to update you. I mean, to be, on the loop all the time. So you'll be out of the loop from now and forth. So
Another
to be, and more serious, and secondly, more serious to be, on the loop all the time with everything what is going on in my company, projects, meeting, freight, tea, visa, different country to, basically to grab and to achieve, in order to sell our wine. So it's always, I'm always, not only me, but a lot of my colleagues, we're always on the loop because the company wants us to sell and to make money and revenue at the end. So yeah.
two really good examples. An
Yeah,
example,
thank you, dearest teacher.
right? And
Thank
then
you for
also
having me.
example in your personal life. And
Yeah.
sometimes the kids do not want mother to be in the loop, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So the mom wants
This is,
to be in the loop, but especially like teenagers do not want the
they
mother.
do
Or
want, they don't, yes, they do not,
so two really good
teenagers especially.
examples. Okay.
Unfortunately, my son is not a teenager, so we'll see in the future. He's still 5 years old, still young, is a baby, But thank you, dearest. Back to you.
That's easier to stay in the loop with little kids, okay? Because they haven't learned how to lie yet, you see, right? Okay, they
Absolutely.
tell the truth. They tell the truth
Yeah,
even when it's
they
not a
tell
good
the truth. It's true. But they never tell you what they eat. I've asked him, please tell me what you have eaten today. And he said to me, wow, I can't remember it. Oh, I
Yeah,
can't remember. What? You can't. I mean, at least tell me something. I need from you more information. Oh, I
right.
can't remember. just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
stuff that is not important, or maybe
exactly. Exactly.
But
Okay.
yes, it's true. If they want, they always tell the truth. It's true. For babies,
So we have to learn how to
kids
lie.
are definitely, yes, they're not lying. Yeah, they're not. It's true.
A lot. So
Yeah,
they
it's
get
true.
better. But little kids,
They
yeah, they
they
tell.
are sincere. They're genuine and sincere. Yes, it's true.
Right.
It's true.
Okay, so all right. So the next one is get cold feet. To become nervous or hesitant about doing something. I was excited about skydiving until I got cold feet right before jumping out of the plane. Okay, other ways to say it: feel hesitant, get nervous. Okay, and so I'm moving to a new city. So sometimes I sort of go from one to the other. Okay. I'm either really excited or I have cold feet because I don't know anybody in that city yet. But then I found out this morning that there's a newcomers group that I can join as soon as I get there, actually. So there is a group of people that are newcomers like me. So I will be able to join that group as soon as I get there so that I can start making new friends. Okay. So that's what's happening there. So anything that you're a little nervous about. Okay, maybe going to a job interview, meeting a new person. Okay, next week I'm meeting a new man. He's coming for lunch or something. So I'm going to have a date next Wednesday, and so so this morning
That's
I was
lovely.
talking.
Lovely. It's a real. Hopefully, God pray for you. I will pray for you.
Okay,
Hopefully.
thank you. Thank you. Because it's been a long time since I had a date, right? Well,
Yeah.
we've been talking for quite a few weeks, and it's time for us to, meet face to face. Okay. So this morning I was talking to him, and it's his birthday. So I wished him a happy birthday. So we had a really nice conversation before the class, and then I told him that I had to go because I had to get ready for this class, right? So I sort of go from, oh great, I can't wait till next Wednesday, and then woo, I got cold feet. So probably Tuesday, just before, I'll have cold feet. So it's just life, when you have something new or you're meeting somebody new, sometimes you get cold feet. Now, doesn't mean that my actual feet are cold. It just means that I'm just a little nervous about, meeting a new person. So that does, but it can happen with a new job, a new city, a new person, and anything that you feel just a little bit nervous about. Yeah. Okay. So can you think of a time when you had cold feet?
Yeah, actually, I recently engaged a new job in 2020-25. I mean, in this year. So first day when I joined in my company, on that time I got a cold feet. You know.
Okay. Because you didn't know the whole job, or you didn't know you didn't know very many people. So yes. So certainly in a situation like that, you would get a cold feet. Absolutely. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have time to tell a story. So
I'll be
and
brave. May I? May I?
oh sure,
I'll be
go ahead.
brave, guys.
Yeah, go
Thank
ahead.
you. Thank you. I will raise my hand. I raise my hand. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully next Monday will not get COVID and you're dating, and your blind dates. I will point out blind date, guys, somehow. But okay, so let me just get into it's a real, guys. I got cold feet. I love it. In Milan, where I'm living, in Italy. So for people who don't know, the city is called Milan, and there is, well, people who love it. I love it. I'm addicted. Like you're jumping from airplane, you're having a parachute. I got cold feet. Even my trainer was, side me and saying, Christina, what should you do? This, that. I really didn't, like get scared and I just frightened, this kind of sensation that you can't bear it. I got cold feet at the moment. So I said, oh, I can do it. I can't do it. But at the end, I jumped it.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yeah, now I'm an expert. I'm not. I have some expertise. Sorry. I know some expertise, but it really I've been, I can't say, okay, oh, I can't do it. So anyway, thank you very much
That
I
for your attention, for
things that
such gentle attention.
I
Yeah.
have to say one thing that Christino, I notice her. She can easily pick up any word and relate with real life. She is master of that.
Wow. Well,
Thank you. And
yeah, because well, Christina has studied English before, and then she's joined these classes for quite a few weeks. So so
I
yes,
know, yeah,
you
I know
know,
Christino from 2022, and
oh,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
great.
so it's like 3
we
years.
met.
Wow,
We
wow,
met
that's
it
fantastic.
before, we met it before. Is it true? Yeah, you're right.
You know,
We
Christino,
don't.
I met
Yeah,
you
this
in
is my.
I met you in J grade.
English. Yeah, I know. To be honest, I use English a lot in my job, guys. We are working more than 78 countries in the world. So I'm somehow, deliberately, I do speak and I do, like write and, there is every day, accomplish to do something. And anyway, sorry, I will, please the floor to other people. Me too much today. I've been speaking too much, so I will just
Well, there
please
you
the floor is yours.
go, some relevant information. So you're keeping us in the loop, Christina. So thank you. Okay,
I will. I will. I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you in the loop.
you're adding
And
some.
it is nice to hear another accent. It's really good. Yes,
Yeah,
I have enjoyed listening to you, Miss Joanne, because you are a native speaker, and Miss Christina, she has a good English. So
yeah.
definitely it is nice. Sometimes I would like to stick with these dialects. It's different, but it's nice to hear them.
No, it is. It totally is. It totally is because that's real life. Okay, we learn from the teacher. We learn from the students in the class, right? And there's different English accents. Okay, I have what's called a Western Canadian neutral accent. Okay, but there's Australian accent, New Zealand accent, Scottish accent, American accent. There's lots of English accents. So you're
Caribbean,
absolutely right.
Caribbean accent.
Caribbean accent. Okay, so it's really good to hear different accents. Absolutely, because then when you watch television or you watch a movie and then they have a different accent, you can say, oh wow, they're speaking sort of Scottish English or Irish English or South African English. Okay, all right. So the people, different schools have hired me because they think that my accent is kind of neutral. Okay, so it's considered easy to understand, and I am a native speaker. It's true. So that's why I can help you with the idioms. Okay, so we're going to do one more idiom, and then we're going to have our open mic for stories. Okay, this is a good one. Take a rain check to postpone or reschedule a planned event or activity. I was too tired to go out for dinner tonight, but we can take a rain check and go tomorrow instead. So anything that is postponed has nothing to do with rain. Okay. Um, in Mexico, yes, there is a rainy season, but we're not worried about the rainy season, okay? So when you say take a rain check, it just means that for whatever reason, you're going to do something tomorrow, mañana, okay? So you're too tired, maybe you're sick, maybe, your plans have changed. And so if someone says, oh, I have to take a rain check, that all that means is that you want to do whatever it is tomorrow or the next week. Okay. I'll take a rain check on that lunch activity because I'm not hungry today. Okay. I'll take a rain check on going to Mexico for Christmas because I don't have enough money. Okay. Whatever it is. Okay. So that's we'll still continue next week, of course, with idioms, but this is a good one to wrap up with, and then we'll have some time where people can tell stories. Okay, so when have you either asked for a rain check or taken a rain check. Okay, so you want to postpone something. You want the activity to happen later, más tarde.
But when you have to postpone something, you put off
Yes.
something, right?
Correct. So you were postponing something. You have to, it's like it's not like not today. Okay, could be tomorrow, next week, next month, or whatever. Okay, so I have taken a rain check on going to Mexico for Christmas, for Navidad. Okay, I was going to go for at least 2 weeks, up to 3 months, but I've decided to move to a new city and get a different place to live that is more stable. See, right now I'm in an off-season motel, which will end at the end of February, so I can't stay here year-round. It's perfectly fine for now, but I have to take a rain check about my plans to go to Mexico. Okay, so now we're moving into the tell a story section. Okay, so at the end of the class, I like to give people the opportunity, especially anybody that hasn't told us a story, and it could be a joke. On Tuesday, we had 2 jokes. It was great. Okay, so this is a chance for you to just think about like us all going to a coffee shop, a cafe, and you get a chance to tell us a story. Okay. So does anybody have, and it could be happy story, sad story, neutral story. So or it could be a joke. Okay. So does anybody have a joke or story to tell the class? It can be about anything. You know, last week we heard about David's situation with Uber. Okay, so we've had jokes, we've had movie reviews, we've had different situations. Okay, so does anybody have a story to tell the class? Just think about, we're all just like in a cafe. We've ordered our coffee or our cappuccino or our latte, and then we are going to just, tell the group a story. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to share a story. Actually,
Tell us a story.
Yeah, very recently I come across a video clip produced by actually Rick Steve. He
Yep.
is very wise guy to produce actually video documentary video. So it was actually about war. You know, in
Okay.
1980 to 1988, for 8 years, Iraq and Iran, there
Yep.
was a war. And 400,000 people have died in this war.
Oh,
And
no. Yeah.
yeah, there was a man died in this war in 1985.
Right.
So when he died, actually in Iran, there was a martyr cemetery in Bhas, in Oklahoma City, in Isfahan. There is more than there is Bhas actually martyr cemetery. So in 1985, there was the people he actually died, and his cemetery was there. So since 1985, her wife used to visit every week. Now it is a 40 year. Her wife every every week visit there and cry with toddler. It was a devastating story. I had to watch in documentary. So it was out of 400,000. It was one example out of 400,000.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that information.
Guys, do you mind?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
I will take the floor. Okay, I will just a simple joke. I found it's for adults. I think it's cute. Knock knock.
Okay.
Who's there? Figs. Figs? Who? Figs, the doorbell. I've been knocking forever.
Oh,
Like a pig. Anyway, something cute.
yeah, that's
Short
PG.
and cute. I found it. This was something short and cute, you know. Thank you for having me today. Take care. Love you
Yes.
all.
Thank
And
you
yeah,
very
take
much.
care of yourself.
Okay,
And
David,
thank
do
you,
do
teacher,
you have a
for
story
being
or a
here.
joke for us?
Yeah, I just have a little story
Oh, hear it.
about a situation that happened last week,
Sure.
and it was really challenging because my father usually goes to the US and he buys cars and then he moves the cars to my country here in
Yes.
Mexico.
Yes.
But the problem is one of the cars did not have an insurance, so he received a ticket. Yeah,
Yes.
so I had to call. I had basically to represent him in the conversation and talk with someone in the court, and yeah, and we received a discount in the ticket. So it was nice. We explained it that we actually bought the insurance one day after the
Yes.
ticket. So yeah, we got the discount, so it was really nice, and it was on Texas. Yeah,
Okay. So your English was able, you were with your using your English, you were able to explain the situation and have a favorable outcome, right?
exactly. Yeah, it was enough to be able to get a favorable outcome. Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Is there anybody else that has a story? Yeah, and then we're just going to wrap up for today. We will continue next Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. London time. Okay. So is there anybody else that has a story? We did have some new
Uh,
people join
but
us.
I
Yeah.
would like to tell one,
Okay.
but it's not it's neutral. It's not happy and it's not sad, I
That's okay.
guess. But
No,
yeah,
okay.
I would like to comment on that.
Sure.
It was 5 years ago. I was in the university, but in other university. It was in a private university because they have a nice library, really nice. So I saw a beautiful lady, and she entered to the English section. But
Yeah.
in the English section of the library, they have a door, and there was a guy standing like a bodyguard or something, and
Yes.
he asked me, eh, "What do you want?" And I said, "I would like to read a book."
Yes.
And then he said, "But you don't have a face like you read in English." And
Yes.
then I I saw him, and I began to speak English. I am usually quite shy. I don't like to brag, but it was something like a challenge because I don't know if he wanted to uh, uh, put down on me or something like that. But yeah, look down. He wanted to look down on me or something like that.
Yes.
And I replied all in English, and he was with his mouth big, open mouth, and he was like, "Oh my, you really speak English?" And I was, "Yeah, I like to study. I told you."
Yes.
And I enter, and uh, I began to read. I began to speak with the lady, and we were laughing. But then it was just for that moment because it was like uh, I wanted to enter. I don't like when somebody said that you cannot do something, or
Yeah.
when somebody wants to like turn you down. Yeah, so it was just for that. I didn't want to. I didn't want to let him go
Yeah.
by in that moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an academic section, and I think that it was free for everyone to stay there.
Of course it is. Of course it is. That was a very bad attitude. It's a very bad attitude
Yes,
for it was the librarian.
yes, exactly.
That was a very bad attitude because, you know, people learn all kinds of languages. You don't have to look a certain way, okay? You know, I'm Ukrainian Canadian. Do I look like a Ukrainian Canadian? Like, no, I just look like, you know, like a retired teacher, right? Okay. And I'm interested in learning, you know, more Spanish, you know, hablo español funcional. So, because I lived in Mexico, so it was a sign of respect to learn, you know, Spanish, of course. And then when I go to a Mexican restaurant, you know, I use my Spanish. Or if I go to a cafe, because there's many Spanish speakers here in Canada, you know, I speak Spanish. I mean, you don't have. Yeah, that was a very, very bad attitude for especially for a librarian in an academic library. You know, that was just not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Okay. Nobody has to look a certain way. Okay. I had an ex-boyfriend. He was studying Russian and he was studying Mandarin Chinese. Okay. Why? Because just like you, he liked to learn languages, right? And he was British. All right. So you know, he looked, I guess, British because he had a British accent, right? But he really, and he taught French in schools here. And then when he retired, he went to university to learn Russian. And then he started learning Chinese, you know, Mandarin. Okay. So, no, very, very bad attitude, especially for a librarian. That's just not acceptable. Not acceptable. Nobody looks a certain way. If you are willing and interested in learning another language, just do it, right?
Yes.
And
I bet you speak a lot of the Spanish, Miss.
well, less. I mean, when I was living in Guadalajara, you know, hablo español cada día, cada noche, pero you know, vivo in Canada. So I don't speak as much Spanish as I used to, but I do have a Spanish teacher in Peru, as a matter of fact, and so I work with her with a language exchange on Monday mornings. So I speak Espanol, and then she speaks English. So we have kind of like a trade, you know, and it's called a language exchange. Okay, so I think we need to wrap up now. We have gone a little bit over, but that's okay because that's why I chose this time slot, because if we do go over, it's not a big deal. There's, you know, I'm not cutting into the other teacher's time slot. Okay, so I do want to thank you for joining the class, rejoining the class, and I wish you a very very happy weekend. Have a great weekend, and then we'll see you again on Tuesdays and Thursdays next week on this platform. Okay, I will repost the website. So I think we've got maybe one more class of traveling idioms that are quite good, because some of these traveling idioms actually they're useful even if you're not traveling, just like in your work or your job or your family. Okay. So some of these are what I call multi-purpose idioms. They can be used in different situations. Okay. All right. So thank you again for joining the class. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you
Okay.
next week. Take care of yourself. Thank you for your commitment.
Thank you very much indeed. See you next
Have a good.
time.
See you next.
Yeah. Yeah. See ya. Have
Okay.
a good one, everyone.